Today is going to be a savage lower body day. So what does that mean? Today we're starting off with some deadlifts. We have a big hinge to start the EMOM Aesthetics program. If you're interested in the EMOM Aesthetics program, get into the description below. You can use the code SHRUGGED to save 10% in the store. The program's smashing. We're combining functional movements, aesthetic training, so multi-joint movements with single joint movements, compacting them into 20-minute EMOMs so you can get strong, look good, feel good, play good, and it doesn't take a ton of time to do. The most important piece of this is that we can, instead of wasting all the time in between sets, now we get to do the work. So we're getting all of our conditioning in, we're getting all of our muscle building, we're tearing some muscle down, we're rebuilding muscle, and we're getting sick pumps because the rep ranges that we're choosing in these are going to be significantly higher than if you were going for pure strength. That's what's beautiful about hypertrophy training, is that we don't have to lift the most weight possible. We get to protect our joints a little bit. So today we're going to be going sets of 10 to start with the deadlift at 225. There's going to be 5 rounds of that. Every other minute we're going to be doing a kettlebell swing, and we're going to go for 20s in the kettlebell swing. So we're going to go 5 deadlifts, 20 kettlebell swings. As soon as we're done with that 10-minute EMOM, we're going to take 1 minute off, rearrange some weights, and we're going to go into split squats and single leg deadlifts. So if you notice, that's 3 hinge patterns today and then 1 squat pattern with the single leg squats. Lots of glutes today, lots of hamstrings, lots of hinging, big hips, squeezing our butts to go through. So we're going to go over the movements before we get started on this. The first minute is going to be the deadlift. And when we think about our deadlift setup, I always want feet directly under our hips. That way we're driving straight up. Hand grip, I'm not too concerned about, but most importantly, pushing those hips back, a slight bend in the knee, and then driving the floor away. We've only got 135 on the bar for the demo, and this helps me get warmed up before we turn the clock on. As soon as we're done with that, minute 2 is going to roll around, and we're going to go into the kettlebell swings for 20. Now, if the deadlift is a slow hinge in which we're standing up, the kettlebell is speed and power in the hinge. So we're driving through the hips as much as possible, squeezing our butt, which allows the kettlebell to fly out in front of us. So when we hike that bell back, legs are a little bit wider than our deadlift, swings back, hips through, and we finish with our arms extended out in front. We're going to go 10 deadlifts, and we're going to go 20 swings for the first 10-minute EMOM. So alternating back and forth. Remember, if you want to learn more about this program, make sure you just get into the description. There's a link, there's a code, you can get in there. 30-day risk-free trial, make sure you get on it. Once we get done with those, the single leg deadlift, probably one of my favorite movements of all time, we're going to take this kettlebell, and what we want to think about, just like a deadlift, we're pushing our hips back and down. The only difference is that we're taking this off leg and pushing it straight back. My hips stay square to the ground, my shoulders stay square to the ground, so we're not rotating out, and then we squeeze our butt and come back through. What we start to notice a lot in the single leg deadlift is people really that rotational piece, because they lack the core stability and strength to be able to maintain that. So what I like to think about is whatever leg is going in the air, take that glute and squeeze that as tight as possible. And as this glute leads, you start to bend over, and now you'll be able to stand. It's all hips. We don't want to think about the back coming forward. We can instantly see if you're moving with your back if you lean here, but if you drive the hips back, everything stays nice and flat. And then the split squat, we're going to be able to come over, grab our bench. You can use the kettlebell if you'd like. You can hold it in a goblet squat here, down as low as we can, and up. Trying to maintain as upright of a torso as possible throughout the entire movement. Down and up. Down and up. We're going to split that 30 seconds on each side. So make sure you have a clock around just so you can see where the timing's at. But we're going to go deadlifts, immediately into swings, immediately into single leg deadlifts, 30 seconds on one side, 30 on the other, into split squats with the same kettlebell. That way, we're getting all the function, all the single joint stuff, We're able to isolate muscle groups. We're protecting our joints. EMOM Aesthetics. Make sure you get into the description below. Save the 10% using the code SHRUGGED. This program's flying off the shelves right now. We can't wait to join you. And here goes the workout right here.